Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I am going to show you how to make some easy butter cookies for Santa and all his elves. Okay, so I'm going to be an elf. I have already made the batter, and this recipe makes a lot. So I have that part and this part. And I will share the link for the recipe. But these are from Southern Living. It's called Easy Butter Recipes. Basic butter cookie dough recipe. And what it is it makes a colossal amount of cookies. It uses 7.5 cups of flour and a whole pound of butter. Now, don't get all cray-cray because you can cut this in half or even a quarter and make just a small batch. But with it being like it is, the whole point of this is you can make a dough once, split it up into 4, or if you make a half a recipe, even you can split up into whatever amounts you want, depending on how much cookies you want to bake at a time. You put it in the refrigerator. You can also freeze it, which is really, really cool because you can spend 30, 45 minutes in the kitchen making all this dough for a basic butter cookie recipe. Then you can take each section and either slice and bake or roll out whatever you want when you want them. Now, for the next couple of series I'm going to do, next time we're going to take part of this dough and do some funky stuff with it, which is easy, like add pecans or chocolate chips. And there's a couple different recipes where you can make these cool little pinwheels that look like you dye part of the dough, so you got red and the creamy color dough color, and it makes little swirls. I'm like, that'll be pretty cool. We'll try that next time. But I will give you the link for the recipe. I did make the whole batch, and it was, I'm telling you, it's like 7.5 cups of flour. That's a half a bag almost, but it's cool. And don't tell anybody, but it's really, really good. Now, what I did is it calls for vanilla flavoring. It's only like a teaspoon. And this recipe, you add the vanilla or your flavoring at the very last, which is so cool because what I did is I took half the dough out and I put vanilla in one half with my mixer. And then I took this half and I put almond flavor in it because I like almonds. And it'll be kind of tasty, so we might have to put some like almonds in this later, next time. But I'm gonna put this in the fridge, so it'll get nice and cold. And the recipe tells you to do indeed refrigerate it, because it gets soft. Now, it says to take your dough and make 1-inch balls. I don't know what a 1 inch is, so I always have to measure it, but this is what I found I had. I have a 1-inch scoop. So I just take my scoop, kind of, sort of, get my 1 inch and make my ball. Now, what I'm going to do too is we have to dip each cookie. It says to take a glass and put it in, dip it in sugar and then flatten the ball. Well, what I've learned is if you take something like, let me show you. It doesn't have to be flat. Why not take something that has like a design? I mean, you can feel it. It's like cut glass, this pretend, this fancy silver, this cut glass silver stuff I have. But you just take it and flatten it. And let me see if I can show you what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. See, it's like all scallopy. So we're going to try these and see what they come out as. And I've never made this recipe before, so we're going to experiment this time, this cookie sheet's worth, to try a couple different techniques. We're going to flatten these because it says to flatten to 1/4 inch thick. Well, what I want to do, just because it's going to taste yummy no matter what it looks like, I'm going to not flatten these 4, and then we're going to bake it. And they're tiny. I don't know how much they spread. Now see, I screwed that one up. But I'm going to put these in the oven and we'll see what they look like. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now the cookies are done. Let's look at them. It said to bake them till they're light golden brown. I don't know if with the lighting, I don't know if you can see. These I did not flatten, so they're not quite as brown, but these are. We'll have to try one in a minute. Now, while those are cooling, I started another tray. Let me get this out of the way. And I made these twice as big just to see. The original recipe, it says at 350, they're 1-inch balls that you flatten to 1/4 inch thick, which mine are thicker than that. So, and baked at 350 for 10 minutes. So what I did is I made mine with my other dough baller thing. I don't know what you call it, a scoop. This one is 1.5 inch, so it's almost like twice the size. And I actually measured what 1/4 inch is. So these I flattened, not measuring. Well, that's really what a 1/4 inch looks like. It's huge and it's really, really flat. But that's okay. So this is a trial because I've never made these. And some like their cookies crisp and some like their cookies soft. But look at what it did. When I used this and I flattened it to 1/4 inch, look at the cool designs it made. So we're going to try these. And I'm still going to do it in the sugar, like it says. And when you flatten it like you're supposed to, it actually comes off better instead of the little barely flattened. But these are probably going to take longer to cook. Now see, it's going to make a lot of me. These are probably going to take longer to cook, maybe 12 minutes or so. That's a pure guess on my part, because they're bigger, but they're also skinnier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes and we'll check them. And I don't know really how brown they are on the bottom, but with these bond cook mats, I love them because you never have to use the parchment. This is your forever parchment or forever aluminum foil. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So let me put these in the oven. Now I'm going to set my trusty timer for 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to put him here or I'll totally forget. The cool thing about these is you have your little pans and then you have your mats. And it says on a lightly greased cookie sheet. Well, we all know when you use your cookie sheets, you have to like let them cool in between or your cookies get all flat and all that kind of stuff. So this, I can take my cookies off of here, for example. Let me show you. Just while those are cooking, I'm going to show you what I do. And it makes life so much easier, especially if you're going to do more than one thing at a time. See, I can take this mat, pull it off. This is aluminum, so it cools real quick and it's got holes. So I can cool this off and I can use it again. And my cookies won't be like spreading all over the universe. And once those have cooled enough, I can put them on the rack and use that mat again. So I'm not having to, now see, I can touch that. It's still a little warm, but it's not hot. Oh, and I have Flat Jesus as my co-pilot, my sous chef. Maybe I think I'm the sous chef and he's the driver. Oh, I hit my timer. What did I do? Oh, I stopped it. We'll start it again. I'll put them here. Now, so this recipe, you can make a few. Now I could stop and I could put this in the fridge and then bake more tomorrow or 2 days from now, put it in the freezer, thaw it in the fridge overnight, and then I can make cookies in a week. And that's what I plan on doing. But for today, now see, now see, those are the balls that I didn't flatten. They kind of look like little pecan sandies. They're not going to taste like them. But see, these just slide right off. So now I can use this again. It's still a little warm, but by the time I get ready for it, it'll be cool enough. Now, I also thought about, and maybe we'll do that next time, instead of flattening these with sugar, is to roll them in colored sugar, like red or green, or red and green, and then flatten them so they'll have the colors. I think that'll be really pretty. Or even that gold, whatever they call that, sanding sugar or finishing sugar, whatever you call that stuff on top. That's really, really pretty. I think that'll be cool. But now, the ultimate taste test. This one is skinny. That one's much fatter. And you can't see it. The lighting is horrible. Maybe there you go. There you go. You can see the difference between the skinny and the fat. Now these are just vanilla. Give me a minute. Now see, that's a little crunchy. Not crisp. Sorry. Yum. I need a cup of coffee. Not crisp, but by the time it goes cold, it's still kind of bendy. Now this one, let me try one of these. Because you know, everybody likes their cookies different. Some like it crisp and some like them chewy. I would definitely store these in a container in the refrigerator because of so much butter. If they're going to last that long, 2 or 3 days. Now let's see. That's much softer on top. But I'm sorry, it's not. It's so rude to talk with my mouth full. But these with the almond flavoring, to put an almond on top, girl, let me tell you, that would be yummy. Now, these would be a great recipe to try for the Sue Kelly virtual cookie swap that we're doing. Is check online at pelhamroad.org. I think that's the website. I'm horrible. I always look at Facebook. But go online and look about information about posting your cookies. You can share your recipes since we all can't get together, unfortunately, because of it's 2020. But because of that, we can't get together and we can't swap cookies amongst all of us, the community. However, it'll be a great opportunity to try different recipes. And you can post your pictures, the more the better, and your recipes. Either just a link or put in the recipe. You don't have to sit there and type all that. That is cray-cray. But just give us the link, and that'll show us what kind of cookie you're making. These are from Southern Living, and it's the basic butter cookie recipe, which I will post as well with the link for that recipe. And this is the first time I ever made these, and these are really, really good. So let's not tell Santa. Maybe we keep these for ourselves and have them. But a few more minutes, and we're going to look at the ones that are in the oven. But it's really, and you could put food coloring in it. I didn't think about that. So if you wanted to make the big recipe or even half, you could divide the dough up and then just work in your food coloring. And maybe that's one of the things we'll do next time is I plan on taking the same recipe, the same dough, and showing you multiple ways of using this one dough and getting different looks and different flavors, because you could have done orange flavoring or coconut flavoring, or even a combination. I mean, whatever you're liking. If you prefer the lemon, make them lemon sugar cookies. I'm not a big fan of lemon. I know I'm weird, but but I love that almond. Also, you could do hazelnut or coconut. Like that coconut flavoring. There's got so many flavorings these days that you could use instead of the vanilla. You could use whatever flavoring you want and divide the dough up using no flavoring, and then you could make you 4 or 5 different kinds of cookies. And then play with the dough, not too much because it does get tough, but you could mess with it, come up with different designs. What I want to try to do next time, or one of these times, is try to roll it out and see if we can cut cookies, because I've got some cookie cutters that I really want to use. And that would be really good because they're a good little basic. It's just butter, flour, and sugar, so in a couple of eggs. But you could make it pretty much anything. You could add cocoa to the flour. Knock out because it's the whole recipe is 7.5 cups of flour. For that last half a cup or even a quarter cup, I would cut it however much cocoa you wanted to add. I would take out that much flour and just kind of see, just put your flour separate and then add the cocoa. And that way you could taste the cookie dough and see, that's not quite chocolatey enough for me. The sweetness will be there. And you can frost them. I mean, we can ice them, we can decorate them. That's what I really want to do with some of these we're going to try piping. That is going to be, I'm here to tell you, Jesus is going to have to help me with my piping because I don't pipe and I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let me check on my cookies. Just a minute. Nope. They're probably another 3 or 4 minutes away from being done. But so I'll be right back. I'm going to eat my cookie. So I won't be chewing in your face. I'm going to eat my cookie. And then when those get done, I'll be right back. Thank you. Hey guys. Now, these other cookies are about done. And they have been going for 12 minutes. It will be 12 by the time. No, I take that back. 13 minutes. And this is like 350. Let me show you. Now, also what I did is I did take the cookie sheet halfway through and I turned it, front to back like this in the oven. For whatever reason, ovens, they don't cook even all the way around. Now, these, I don't know if you can see. Let me try this. You might can see it better this way. Let me tilt. These are the thicker ones. See, they're not all that brown. But these are nice and brown. And I want to let them sit here for a minute and cool off. But they're still going to taste good. Now, I just got a word from Santa that Santa had an idea that you could do whatever size, but you could do these little round ones and then do like the thumbprint cookies and push your thumb in it. Let me show you. I'll do one. Make the ball. And then you can still flatten it a little bit. And I'd use something flat. We'll make that on the bottom. And then do thumbprint. And cook them like that. Can you see? There you go. Maybe you can see it. I'm telling you, my lighting. Let me turn this light out. That's not too dark. Oh, that's better. You can see that little well. So I might cook that one just to see. We'll know next time. I'll do a few. But once they're cooked, peanut butter ganache. Girl, let me tell you. But cook them, bake them. And when that well, thumbprints, they usually put like a jelly or a lemon curd, or I think that's what they put in thumbprint cookies. But because it's a well, Santa just said that he talked to me. He said, chocolate. So I'm thinking a chocolate ganache, which is just, you can just make melted chocolate chips and get them all melted and then pour it in there, spin it in there, or pipe it in there. Yum, 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 yum. Now, let me look at, see what this looks like on the bottom. Oh yeah, see, they're nice and brown. So these are done. These are definitely done. Let me move these. Now, these are going to be, I don't make these for the Cookie Kelly swap if you don't want them. And if you don't like butter cookies, come your own, your favorite, something new. We all love cookies. So anything you can come up with, that'd be great. And we just want to share because this is the time of sharing. But I want to thank you all for joining me. And I hope to see you next week. And we'll come up with something else kind of funky with these. We'll play with our dough and see what we can come up with. But no matter what, they're going to be tasty. Thank you guys. See you then. Bye.